Alright everyone, so in this video, I'm going to be discussing probably one of the biggest mistakes that you cannot afford to make if you're trying to be successful. Now, we all have our own goals, right? Someone's maybe bigger than yours, someone's maybe smaller, but this seems to be like a big thing that even I've experienced myself, that they all tend to share in common because I've set both small and big goals, right? So everyone has their own definition for everything, but just because you can distinguish the two doesn't mean they don't have their similarities, right? So I want to start off with boredom. There's boredom and there's discomfort, right? So everyone knows how to deal with discomfort. It's going to be there one way or another. For every time there's good, there's going to be a time that's bad, right? This yin and yang. They're both there for a reason. So now the other one is boredom, though, right? I also believe that for every time you're bored, there's also going to be a time you have lots of fun, right? Now, it all depends. How deep are you willing to go with that gut-wrenching, gut-sinking feeling when you're sitting there forcing yourself 12 hours a day to get all your work done? Rather, you're in college, you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to put together a workout plan and get it perfectly down to the point. There's always progress over perfection, right? And this is where the boredom comes in, is we don't get that instant gratification. So here's you right now, right? You're over here, you're just sad face, and then here's the person you want to be, right? Now, I want to start off with what you call work. This person over here actually calls life, right? So you build the stress tolerance, the boredom tolerance, whatever it is that you're struggling with. You either build a solution or you build, or you build a tolerance to it, right? And you become, in turn, stronger. But what typically happens is you become stronger first, and then that's when the solution comes and you can do it on repeat, because you're like, hey, I've seen this, done this, been there, done that before, right? So you ever heard that saying? It's cliche for a reason. But so now here's the thing. You have discomfort once again, and then you also have boredom. Now they both are also something that is uncomfortable. That's where the word tolerance comes in. So now here's you. You're all bored. You know what to do. You're stuck in what's called analysis paralysis. And then you can't sit the fuck down for even 5 minutes straight because you're bored and you just don't want to do the work, right? So what happens is gradually over and over, you can give yourself a tally. Oh, I've stayed down one more minute. Stayed down one more minute. Boom, I finally focused on this thing one more minute. Set new records. Try to be better than last time, right? What you've now accomplished is now the new standard, right? Not the new goal, it's the new standard. And so that way you can only get better than last time, because just as much as there's downward spirals, there's also upward spirals, right? So now, how to have an upward spiral, we're going to do something that's called getting out of our comfort zone, right? And this is where we dive deeper into things. A moment here. You guys are going to love this shit. So, I absolutely love this one. I want to see if I can actually copy and paste it into the whiteboard. Oh, there we go. Look at that. You can't. So, this is you. After, keep everything I just showed you in mind, because like I said, this is where we dive deeper into things. I just wanted to lay out the idea. Sometimes it's better to actually read the questions before reading the book that has the answers, right? If you read the book that has the answers and then you get to the questions, you're not going to remember certain shit or know what to expect and look out for. So hopefully this can kind of speed up that learning curve for you. So, and this is also going to teach you what you're in for, so that way you know if you're doing something right or wrong on your way to success, reaching that goal, whatever it is that you want to do. So you're right here in the comfort zone. You feel safe and control, right? Because it's a lot easier to put your hand in a bag of Doritos than to put your hand on a weight and actually fucking do something with it, right? A chip weighs less than a fucking dumbbell. So anyway, that's that. So you feel all safe in control, and then now you want to do something with your life because you realize that here it's just the same thing on loop, and you don't really get as much for it as if you did the hard work on loop. So you're like, okay, what am I doing with my life? Nothing's changing. You're ready for a change, right? As much as us humans hate it, If you want change, it all comes with a cost. It's going to come with discomfort, and that has to do with adaptation, which is another like thing you can add to your mindset arsenal, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Your new mindset has to be to adapt to the new lifestyle. You can't have the new lifestyle without adapting to the new lifestyle, right? New life means new adaptation, whether you like it or not. For every time there's fun, there's going to be a time you're bored. Just like for every time there's good, there's going to be a time that's bad, right? So you finally realize it now that I've opened your ears up a bit, and then you start to get out here. Now, there's going to be 3 big factors, and this is so you can learn from my mistakes and not make them yourself, right? You will make it to the end goal as long as you can commit to yourself internally, and yeah, there's not much more to it than that. You're gonna feel, if not be, affected by other people's opinions. So like right here, let me circle this one for you. That's going to be one of the biggest ones, and then that's going to lead you to find excuses because you're not going to like that. You're not going to want that discomfort, and then you're going to have a lack of self-confidence. And then from there, all 3 of these equal boredom because now you're not doing everything, and then you're holding yourself back when really you got to make your own fucking rules, right? I'm not saying that it's okay to go out and kill someone, but at the same time, I mean, you got to kill your goals, right? So you have to do crazy to accomplish crazy. You're going to have to flip off a couple people. As much as you don't like it, you can be the best person in the world and have the best intentions, but there's always going to be a motherfucker out there that no matter how good you are, they're still going to see you as something bad, right? So I'm not going to get too political, but like look at Trump. He just faced 24 different fucking charges, and by all means, they were all dropped. He just faced them all. Everyone thought he was bad, and then now people love him. We take a big turnaround, right? You know what? I don't care who gets offended. Just like I'm teaching you not to be affected by other people's opinions. Trump's a fucking goat. He doesn't get affected by other people's opinions. He stands on ground for his goals and what's right. So, if you want to stand on your goals and do what's right, now we get to the learning zone where you're going to deal with challenges and problems. See how I'm even slowly getting out of my comfort zone from when I started this video? You're going to deal with challenges and learn problems, and learn to deal with them. And then you're going to acquire new skills, and then you're going to extend the comfort zone because now since you've been through all these, this is going to be your new comfort zone. Voila, will you look at that? Been there, done that. I've done that before, just like I told you earlier. So you're going to do these 2. These are just acquiring new skill sets. There's no silver bullet to anything. There's only a bunch of golden BBs that add up, right? Because as we get out of our comfort zone, you have 1, but then now you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, and then it's kind of fractal and so on. Now you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, but they're a bit harder, and then you finally get to more. You have 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's only going to get harder as you go, and that's why I say you have to adapt, right? It doesn't matter. You will have an advantage. Now, certain paths, like everyone has their own way to make it out here. You could be here, you could be here, you could be here, but only looking back does it get easier to now do these. But the new shit that pops up and hits you in the face, it's going to get harder to do. So it's only going to get harder as you go. But that's when you become a bigger master of adaptation, and that's where you have all the advantages in your back pocket of I've been there and I've done that before, right? So let me clean this whole mess up real quick. I think this thing's actually helping me. I like this. There we go. And then so you've broken out of your comfort zone where you feel safe and in control. You're willing to face the uncontrollable sometimes, and then you acquire the new skills. You stop dropping the excuses. You now gain the self-confidence, and now you're no longer affected by other people's opinions, right? So you have that positive mindset. You're just positive. You're willing to face all odds, do whatever's required. And then from there, I mean, you just learned how to become unstoppable for the most part, right? So that brings me to my point being, before you get to start off and take off on your own, is, are you disciplined, and do you do what is required and not what you feel like, but what you know is supposed to be done, versus you're only motivated where you do what you feel like, not what's required, right? Unfortunately, reality wouldn't be called reality if it were not reality. You're going to see what I mean here in a second. You have to play the game for what it is, not what you want it to be, right? When you can't write your own rules, sometimes the rules are what set you free, and you have to be disciplined to do what's required. It's not always going to go your fucking way, grow a pair of tits, grow a pair of balls. You know what? Fucking grow up, strengthen up, and get ready for the ride. Because, you know what? Good things don't come easy. Once again, the pattern repeats. For every time you're bored, there's going to be a time that you're going to have fun. Just like for every time there's bad, there's also going to be a time that you have good, right? So I said it to you vice versa. That way you can see it from both sides, get the best of both worlds. And anyhow, that leads me to here. Once you have discipline, you know what it's like to find your purpose and live your dreams. And then from there, you can set new goals, realize aspirations. And then from there, it's basically your fucking life. And these are so much easier to overcome than you think. Start off small and go bigger, right? And guess what? It's the same reason that applies. More money, more problems. I want every last fucking problem that comes with it. Because problems are profit. Doesn't matter what you say. Same thing applies to everything else. You know what? Better physique requires a better workout, which requires better knowledge and better information, right? Same thing there. It doesn't matter what the goal is. It's always going to take more the bigger it is. And it's your job to all in all, just like this arrow right here, to grow and most importantly, go through it all and beyond.